Hi guys, welcome to Storytime. I'm happy to see you. I am Elizabeth Reimer and I'm the director of Freedom Public Library in New Hampshire. Last week we planted some seeds. Did you plant your seeds too? Mine came up. Did yours? I planted 3 seeds and 2 of them came up. I wonder what yours are doing. So I got a lot of pictures from you guys from last week and I want to give some shout outs to you. Here's Abby. She cut and colored her own flower. Beautiful, Abby. And Anna colored her own flower too. And look, her shirt has flowers all over it. Aria and Adeline's flowers are almost as beautiful as they are. And I love how different Bennett, Caroline, and Eleanor's flowers are from each other. Violet and Margaret made theirs at their own home this time. Caden and Declan made their flowers with their grandfather. And here are the flower boys, Calvin and Emmett, and also Evan, Ashton, and Colin. Here are Haley and Amelia with their flowers and their flowers to be in the pots. Jackson and Anna are movie stars with their sunglasses on. Rachel and her flower. I love your hair bow, Rachel. Ravine and River dressed in pink with their flowers. Here's Tessa planting her zinnia seeds. And here's a picture of Ya'ara doing a shaker song. She is the granddaughter of my old friend Yossi, and they participated in Storytime from their home in Mazkeret Batya in Israel. Welcome, you guys. I also want to give a shout out to Lily, who I got to see recently. Hi, Lily. So if you want to send me a picture and be featured in a future Storytime, follow the directions in the YouTube notes down below. Now it's time to sing our Storytime song. Will you sing with me? Sit down, it's story time, and we're gonna have some fun. Read books and sing some songs, so listen everyone. I like to see your eyes grow bright, I like to see you smile. 'Cause you're all growing up so fast, let's share this little while. So sit down, it's story time, and we're gonna have some fun. Read books and sing some songs, so listen everyone, listen everyone. Our Storytime theme this week is royalty, and my first book is called The Princess and the Pig, and it's by Jonathan Emmett with pictures by Polly Bernatene. Not long ago, in a kingdom not far from here, a farmer was traveling home from the market with a cartload of straw. The farmer was so poor that he didn't have a horse and had to pull his own cart. In the back of the cart lay a tiny pink piglet. Nobody wanted to buy the piglet at the market, but the farmer had taken pity on it. "I'll call you Pigmella," he decided, as this seemed like a good name for the pig. Pretty cute, huh? It was a hot day, and the farmer stopped to rest in the shade of a great castle. Far above him on a high balcony, a queen was inspecting her new baby daughter. Aw! The queen was so rich that she had 7 nannies and didn't have to look after her own child. The queen picked the baby out of her cradle and held her at arm's length. "I'll call it Priscilla," she decided, as this seemed like a good name for a princess. She called her baby It. A moment later, a wet, squelching noise came from the baby's diaper, closely followed by an awful smell. "Yuck!" shrieked the queen, dropping the baby and running off to find the royal nannies. She left so quickly that she didn't notice she had dropped the baby over the edge of the balcony. Ah! Down, down, down went the baby into the farmer's cart. And up, up, up flew the piglet into the princess's cradle. Plop. When the queen returned and found the piglet lying where the baby should have been, she let out an even louder shriek, "Ah!" and fainted into the nanny's arms. The king thought he knew what had happened. "A bad fairy has done this," he explained. "The fairy wasn't invited to the princess's christening, so she's turned the baby into a piglet to get her revenge. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books." Meanwhile, the farmer had returned home and was surprised to discover a baby girl lying where the piglet should have been. Hey! The farmer's wife thought she knew what had happened. "Oh, a good fairy has done this," she explained. "The fairy knew how poor and honest we are and how badly we wanted a child, so she turned the piglet into a baby. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books." And so, without a second thought, the baby became Pigmella, the farmer's daughter, and the piglet became Priscilla, the royal princess. It wasn't long before Pigmella was able to eat and walk and get dressed all by herself, and the farmer and his wife soon forgot that she had ever been a pig. Things were not so easy for Priscilla. Oh no, she's on top of the table making a big mess and running away from her lessons. But the king and queen never let anyone forget that she was really a princess. As Pigmella grew, she grew smarter and beautiful and was admired by everyone she met. As Priscilla grew older, she grew not so smart and not so beautiful and was avoided by everyone she met. Then one day the farmer's wife overheard some of the castle servants talking about the princess who had turned into a pig. "It's just like what happened to Pigmella," she told her husband, "only the other way around." The farmer soon guessed what had happened. "The princess and the pig must have swapped places somehow," he explained. "It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books." The poor farmer and his wife were very unhappy. They loved Pigmella, but they knew they must return her to her rightful home. Oh no, no. Pigmella was also unhappy. She loved the farmer and his wife and did not want to live with anyone else. But they were an honest family, so the next day they all went to the castle to see the king and queen. The king and queen listened to the farmer's story. But they didn't believe it. "What nonsense!" cried the queen. "Oh, ridiculous!" The king laughed. "This girl may be smart and beautiful, but she does not look or speak like a real princess." They're looking at each other. The queen thought she knew what was happening. "It's a trick," she declared. "The girl is just a farmer's daughter pretending to be a princess so that she can marry a prince. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books." And so Pigmella returned home with the farmer and his wife, where she married a young shepherd and lived happily ever after, and never once wished that she had been a princess. And Priscilla also got married to a handsome prince, although he had to be talked into it. "Priscilla was changed into a pig by a bad fairy," the king explained. "But once you kiss her, the spell will be broken and she will turn back into a beautiful princess," added the queen. "It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books," they assured him. But unfortunately for the prince, it's not the sort of thing that happens in this particular book. Oh dear. Oh my. All right, it's time to get up and do some rhymes. This one is called The Prince in His Feathered Cap. So do you have a cap on? Here is the prince with his feathered cap. Take it off and bow. Okay, let's try that again. Here is the prince with his feathered cap. And here are his boots that go tap, tap, tap. Here is the princess with her crown. And here is her lovely golden gown. Can you curtsy? Let's try that again. And here is the princess with her crown. And here is her lovely golden gown. Here is the castle, tall and wide, with so many rooms where they can hide. Let's try it again. Here is the prince with his feathered cap, and here are his boots that go tap, tap, tap. Here is the princess with her crown, and here is her lovely golden gown. Here is the castle, tall and wide, with so many rooms where they can hide. Do you like to play hide and seek? Wouldn't it be fun to do it in a big castle? Yeah. All right, here's another one, and it's called There Was a Princess Long Ago. There was a princess long ago, long ago, long ago. There was a princess long ago, long, long ago. She lived up in a tall stone tower, tall stone tower, tall stone tower. She lived inside a tall stone tower, tall stone tower. One day a bad queen waved her wand, waved her wand, waved her wand. One day a bad queen waved her wand, waved her wand. The princess slept for 100 years, 100 years, 100 years. The princess slept for 100 years, 100 years. A great big forest grew around, grew around, grew around. A great big forest grew around, grew around. A gallant prince came riding by, riding by, riding by. A gallant prince came riding by, riding by. He took an axe and cut the trees, cut the trees, cut the trees. He took an axe and cut the trees, cut the trees. He kissed her hand to wake her up, wake her up, wake her up. He kissed her hand to wake her up, wake her up. So everybody's happy now, happy now, happy now. So everybody's happy now, happy now. Yay! Now we're going to do a nursery rhyme. I bet you know this one about Humpty Dumpty. What was Humpty Dumpty? Do you know? He was an egg. He was an egg. So how does it go? Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Ready? Let's say it again together. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Poor Humpty. Now comes the time where we sing about you, all right? But I'll go first. I've got a tie-dye shirt on today. I think I'll sing about that. Are you ready to sing with me and give me a big clap afterwards? Ready? Elizabeth's wearing her tie-dye shirt, her tie-dye shirt, her tie-dye shirt. Elizabeth's wearing her tie-dye shirt all day long. Please take a bow. Yay, Elizabeth! Yay! Okay, so Rachel's here with us today. Welcome to Storytime, Rachel. Thank you for coming. So what do you want to sing about today?
My black shoes.
Ooh, your black shoes. All right, very good. Rachel's wearing her black shoes, her black shoes, her black shoes. Rachel's wearing her black shoes all day long. Please take a bow. Yay, Rachel! I think we got it. Good job, Rachel. Thank you. Our next book is another funny one called Waking Beauty, and it's by Leah Wilcox with illustrations by Lydia Monks. Waking Beauty. There she is asleep. She's been sleeping so long she's got cobwebs all over her. Once upon a Saturday, in search of dragons he could slay, Prince Charming heard a dreadful sound that shook the land for miles around. It's a rhyming book. It thundered from a castle tall. He raced to scale its prickly wall. "A dragon lies within," he cried, and hand on sword he crept inside. Then hung his head. "Oh, rats," he said, "it's just a snoring girl in bed." He peeked behind her canopy and spied some fairies, 1, 2, 3. "She snored this way 100 years," they whimpered through their fairy tears. "That long?" he frowned. "She sure sleeps late. Wake her up. Why do you wait?" The fairy scowled. "Don't be so dense. She'll only wake up for a prince. We see you finally made the trip. Now give the girl a little lip." "Okay," he said, "if you insist." He drew his mouth up in a twist and hollered, "Wake up, lazy bones!" Her snores drowned out the fairies' groans. They shook their heads. "No, not like this. You have to wake her with a..." "Hey, I know!" He tapped his head and started jumping on the bed. Beauty shot up, hoops and all, then sailed down like a parasol. Woo! But this did not wake the maiden fair, but loosed the cobwebs in her hair. The fairies all began to hiss. "She'll only wake to true love's..." "Wait!" Prince Charming waved his hand. "Don't worry, girls, I understand." And stooping o'er her snoring snout, he dunked a water pitcher out. Oh no. On she slept. She did not stir. Thick dust had turned to mud on her. The feisty fairies grabbed his ear, making certain he could hear. "Take careful aim. You must not miss. You have to wake her with a..." "Oh, wait, I know what you're planning." Prince Charming spied a castle cannon. He stuffed the sleeping beauty in. She soon came shooting out again. Boom! She fell into the moat, where all her hoops kept her afloat. Still on she snored as frightened trout and crocodiles jumped right out. Prince Charming fished the girl ashore. The fairies yelled, "Enough! No more!" They fluttered round him, feeling frantic. "How can you be so unromantic? She won't have ever after bliss until you wake her with a kiss." The prince's knees began to shake. His noble heart began to quake. 100 years of morning breath. Wow, that could be the kiss of death. He poked her muddy, matted curls. "I've heard that there are germs on girls." He wiped her mouth clean with his shirt. "I hope," he squeaked, "this doesn't hurt." His puckered lips met Beauty's smack, and in her sleep she kissed him back. Prince Charming smiled. "Not bad," he said. The maiden sat up in her bed. She stretched and yawned and rubbed her eyes. Then, much to everyone's surprise, she popped Prince Charming with her fist. "Who said that you could have a kiss?" The pummeled prince slid down, poor chap, and fell asleep on Beauty's lap. Beauty groaned. and bent to shake him. Fairies, tell me how to wake him. Oh, just let the poor boy sleep, they said. And tired, too, they went to bed. But fairy tales can't end like this. We know she woke him with a kiss. Waking Beauty. So I want to thank Rick Golden for allowing us to use his wonderful music in our story time today. These songs are both from his CD, I Like to Read. The first one is called The Wiggling Dance.
Now when we do the wiggling dance, we start out, we wiggle our arms and our legs and our heads and our feet and our whole bodies all around. So let's try that.
Ready? Come on, get up.
Oh, wiggle all around, everybody wiggle. Wiggle all around, wiggle and jiggle. Wiggle in the country, fresh air. Wiggle downtown in the center of town.
Can you wiggle your head?
Wiggle all day, out in the sunshine. Wiggle all night, under the moon. It's the wiggling dance. Everybody wiggle to the wiggling tune. Good. Oh, wiggle all around, everybody wiggle. Wiggle all around,
Wiggle and jiggle. Are you jiggling?
Wiggle in the country, fresh air. Wiggle downtown in the center of town. Wiggle all day, out in the sunshine. Wiggle all night, under the moon. It's the wiggling dance. Everybody wiggle to the wiggling tune.
Okay, are you up? Are you doing this with
Now,
me?
when I say...
Come on, get up.
You guys are doing great. When I say wiggle on up, can you jump up and wiggle at the same time? Like this? Wiggle on up.
I think I'm just going to stretch.
Okay, and then
You
we're
can
going to
jump
wiggle
up.
on down. Wiggle on down. Good. Then wiggle to the left over this way. Wiggle to the left. And then the other way, wiggle to the right. All right, so let's try that part all together. Here we go. Oh,
can
wiggle
jump.
all around. Everybody wiggle. Wiggle all around. Wiggle and jiggle. Wiggle on up.
Up, 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 up.
And wiggle on down.
Down, 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 down.
And wiggle to the left. And wiggle to the right. That's the wiggling dance. You've got that right. Okay, you're doing very well. There's a second part of the song, and it goes like this. First, we're going to jump up in the air one time like this. Well, jump up once. And then turn around and turn around.
Are you doing
Then we're
it?
going to jump 2 times. Ready? 1, 2, and wiggle all around. Then we're going to jump 3 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and stamp your feet on the ground. Then make a funny face and make a silly sound. All right, very good. So that's the whole thing. Let's try the whole wiggling dance all
Ready?
together. Here we go. Well, jump up once and turn around. Jump 2 times, 1, 2, and wiggle all around. Jump 3 times,
1, 2, 3.
and stamp your feet on the ground. Then make a funny face and make a silly sound. Oh, wiggle all around, everybody wiggle, wiggle all around, wiggle and jiggle, wiggle on up, 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 and wiggle on down, 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 and wiggle to the left, and wiggle to the right. That's the wiggling dance. You've got that right.
All right, this is a great song, and it's called the Sit Down, Stand Up, Sit Down, Stand Up, Sit Down song. And we don't usually do it at story time because we don't usually have chairs. So I want you guys to get chairs, pause the video, and go and get chairs because you're going to need to be able to sit down and stand up, okay? All right, I got my chair. Here we go.
Everybody stand up. Everybody sit down. Now stand up again and turn around. You can keep standing up, but not for long. 'Cause this is the sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down song. Good. Now stand stand up if you're 5 years old.
Stand up if you're 5.
And
I'm not
sit
5.
back down again. Stand up if you're 6 or 7.
Are you 6 or 7?
Then sit back down with your friends. Stand up if you're 4 or 3. Alright, stand up if you're 8, 9, or 10.
How about
Now
58?
everybody sit back down, we'll do it once again. Everybody stand up. Everybody sit down. Now stand up again. And turn around. You can keep standing up, but not for long. 'Cause this is the sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down.
Are you doing it?
Stand up if you have a sister.
I do. Hi, Margie.
Now sit back down again. Stand up if you have a brother.
You?
Now sit back down with your friends. Stand up if you have a dog at home.
Do you have a dog?
Stand up if you have a cat.
I have a cat. I have 3 of them.
Now everybody sit back down. This time we'll do it
Ready?
fast. Everybody stand up. Everybody sit down. Now stand up again. And turn around. You can keep standing up, but not for long. 'Cause this is the sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down
You
song.
get tired?
Now stand up if you like music.
I do.
And sit back down with your friends. Stand up if you like sports.
Yeah.
Then sit back down again. Stand up just if you feel like it. You don't even have to ask. Now everybody sit back down. This time we're gonna do it very
Are you ready?
fast. Everybody stand up. Everybody sit down. Now stand up again. And turn around. You keep standing up, but not for long. 'Cause this is the sit down, stand up, 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 sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down song.
Do you know the story of the Princess and the Pea? This is one version of this fairy tale that we have. It's called The Princess and the Pea, and it's by Harriet Ziefert. I'm not going to read this. I just want to make sure that you know the story, because I'm going to read another book that's like The Princess and the Pea. So there was a prince, that is, who wanted to get married, but it had to be to a real princess. And he met lots and lots of princesses, but he wasn't quite sure whether they were real princesses or not. Then one day, it was a stormy, stormy night, and there was a knock at the castle door, and this girl was at the door. And she said that she was a real princess, but she sure didn't look like one. She was all wet and bedraggled, but she said she really was. So the queen came up with a plan. She put a little tiny green pea under her mattress. And then she put 10 mattresses on top of that. And on top of that, she put 10 feather beds on top of that. So when the princess went to bed, she had to climb all the way up to this tall, tall bed with the little pea under that. She didn't know it was there. In the morning, they said, "How did you sleep?" And she said, "I didn't sleep at all. There was a huge lump in the bed." And they were like, "Oh, she's a real princess," because she felt the pea all the way through all those mattresses and all those feather beds. And the prince and the princess got married. Okay, so that's the story of the Princess and the Pea. Well, I'm going to read you a story called, it's called The Princess and the Packet of Frozen Peas. And it's by Tony Wilson with illustrations by Sue deGennaro. I'm going to take my glasses off to read this book to you. The Princess and the Packet of Frozen Peas. Once upon a time, there was a prince called Henrik who wanted very much to fall in love and get married. He was an outdoorsy type and hoped that the princess he married would like hockey and camping. There were many girls who wanted to marry a prince. Every time Henrik left the palace, groups of screaming girls would yell, "Oh my goodness, it's him!" and throw flowers in his general direction. Henrik decided to ask his brother for advice. "Well, the most important thing is to make sure that she's a real princess," Prince Hans said. "A real princess is very beautiful and very sensitive. When I met my wife, Princess Eva, I made a stack of 20 mattresses and 20 eiderdown quilts. And then I put a single pea under the bottom mattress. If a girl complains about feeling the pea through mattresses as an eiderdown quilts, she must be a real princess." "Did Princess Eva complain?" Prince Henrik asked. "You bet, she complained a lot," said Prince Hans. Prince Henrik decided to watch Princess Eva to see what a real princess was like. He found her at the tennis court where she was being sensitive about tennis balls. "These tennis balls are too bouncy." He followed her to the driveway and saw her being sensitive about her new sports car. "This isn't the car I wanted. I wanted one with drink holders and yellow." Prince Henrik wondered whether perhaps Princess Eva was a little too sensitive. "Look, she's yelling at the maids, and they don't look very happy about it." Prince Henrik decided he didn't want to marry a real princess like Princess Eva. He wanted to marry the exact opposite. She didn't have to be beautiful or sensitive. She just had to like hockey and camping and have a nice smile. And so Prince Henrik came up with a plan. Whenever a girl came to stay, he offered to make up the guest room. Instead of 20 mattresses, Henrik found one thin camping mattress. Instead of 20 eiderdown quilts, Henrik found one old sleeping bag. And instead of a single pea, the prince decided to use a whole packet of frozen peas. Many young girls visited, but none passed the test. "You won't believe this. I found peas in my bed. Oh, I couldn't sleep at all. There was a massive lump under the mattress." "What's the deal with the packet of frozen peas?" Then one morning, Henrik's old friend Pippa came to stay. They had a great day riding horses, playing hockey, and spying on Princess Eva as she complained about everything in the palace. "If she's a real princess," Henrik joked, "I want to marry the opposite." Henry and Pippa laughed. For the first time, Prince Henrik noticed what a lovely laugh his friend had. "Oh my goodness, look at Princess Eva making the maids stand on top of each other to clean the chandelier." That night, he decided to test her with the packet of frozen peas. There they are in his pocket. The following morning, Henrik sat in the corridor outside the guest room. He waited and waited and waited. Finally, Pippa emerged, yawning. "How did you sleep?" asked Henrik. "Fantastically well, thank you." Pippa handed him a packet of mushy peas. "I found this under the mattress last night," she said. "It was the perfect ice pack. I had a bit of a sore shin from playing hockey." The prince beamed. Pippa beamed back. She had a lovely gap between her two front teeth. "Will you marry me?" asked Prince Henrik. "But I'm not a real princess," Pippa answered. "Even better," said Henrik. "You'll be an unreal princess." Yay! They know how to have fun. So a real prince or princess would probably like diamonds and rubies and emeralds and really expensive gems. But an unreal prince or princess would probably be very, very happy with this plain beaded necklace. That's what we're going to make today. This is what it's going to look like. So if you live close by, you will have gotten a bag that has some yarn or some string. And on one end, it has some tape put on it to make it easier to go through the holes of the beads. And on the other end, we have a little twist tie to keep the beads from falling off the end. Otherwise, they just go woo onto the floor and you're like, darn it, and I just spent all afternoon making the perfect necklace. So, wow, lots of different beads here. Some are not going to work. That has no hole at all. And that one's hole is too tiny. So any ones that aren't going to work, just set them aside. And now you get to decide. You can maybe put all the yellow ones together and make a pattern. Or you could just put them on any which way. Wonder what you're going to want to do. I don't know. Well, let's get going. I think I'll put my orange one on first. Here it is, the first one. Actually, there was one on there already, a sparkly clear one. Those are pretty. I like those sparkly ones. Here's another sparkly one, a purple one. So I have a few on here like that. And I'm going to leave the rest of it for you guys to do. And it'll turn out something like this. And you can take the twist tie off. Make sure that it might be a good idea to tie it first around your neck. Get your mom to help you or your dad, your big brother or big sister, and then put it on. You can take off the twist tie. Here's my necklace so far. What do you think? Yeah, maybe just a few. I like it with a few. Or you can do the whole thing like this one. All right. Well, I hope you had fun at Storytime. Thank you for being with me, and I'll see you next week, okay? Bye for now.